This video will provide you with at least one method to get lumber into an attic if you are having a problem. You can't get it in through the crawl space and you're thinking, hey, what the heck? How am I going to get the lumber in? Well, really, you're only going to have two choices. One will be to cut a hole in the side of the roof. This would require you to remove some of the roofing shingles, the paper, and some of the floor sheathing so that you can get lumber in. And if you need to get lumber into each bay of the ceiling because you need it to be full-length lumber, then this will require you to remove a section. I would just remove the bottom section of the roof and then rebuild it after you are done, because it's going to require, you don't want to just cut a bunch of holes into the sheathing. And this video was originally designed for older homes. You're not going to have plywood in an older home. You're going to have 1x6. It's either going to be solid sheathing where the boards are right next to each other, or it's going to be space sheathing where the 1x6, let's say for example, are spaced 6 inches apart, and you can actually see the roofing materials from the bottom, or at least the building paper. So with this right here, you're only going to have two options. One would be to cut a hole in the side of the building. If you have siding or stucco, you'd need to cut a hole in the side of the building so that you could slide the lumber in, and then you could maneuver it into position. But if you can't maneuver it into position, you cannot, it needs to go straight in, because you're not going to, because it needs to sit on the wall, something like that, then you're going to have to, like I said, you're going to need to remove the bottom section of the building, of the sheathing, in order to put the ceiling joists or floor joists in that you're trying to get in. So anyway, that is it. I hope it makes sense. I know this isn't what you want to hear. If you cannot get your lumber through the crawl space, and here I have the crawl space right over here, there are a lot of times where you can open up a window in one bedroom, slide the lumber in at an angle, and get it into the attic. If you need to remove some of the ceiling, if that's going to be an option, to me it's whatever's going to be easiest. And the reason why I made the video in the first place was to provide you with an example of how to get lumber in if you needed the lumber to go from wall to wall. And the only way you are going to be able to do that would be to cut a hole in the roof. So that was my original intent. Some of the other thoughts pop in afterwards, which is what I'm suggesting. You can actually remove the drywall if that's going to work for you better. Whatever is going to be easiest for you to repair and make your job as easy as possible. Now, I say this in a lot of my videos, but I haven't said it in quite some time. Something like this requires a lot of planning. Make sure that you plan everything out accordingly. Trying to think of as many problems as you could possibly encounter. Try to envision how you're going to fasten the lumber to the walls, or if you're going to fasten them to the ceiling joists. Try to figure out if you're going to have enough room to attach the lumber at the end of the walls. I've actually worked on jobs where we couldn't nail anything, we couldn't get any hardware in, and we would just sit the joist on top of the wall and attach it to this wall, or have a joist that went from here to across here, and we just nailed the joists together to keep them from moving, or attach them to one wall at least where we could keep it from moving. But these are all things you're going to need to think about. How are you going to fasten everything together before you do it? The last thing you want to do is cut a hole in the side of the building, remove a bunch of stuff, and then find out that you can't attach the lumber on the other side. You need to cut a hole on that side or something. So kind of blew that one out of proportion, maybe exaggerated a little bit, but these are problems that we seem to run into and if we're not planning properly. So that's it for this video. If you like them, don't forget to hit the old thumbs up button